speaking of the Dodgers, they themselves advanced the World Series by sweeping the Milwaukee Brewers, who had the best record in baseball, by the way, with 97 wins, in a 4-0 sweep, win Game 4 in Los Angeles. So let's put this segment into like a storytelling format as opposed to just hot takey format right off the bat. So Shohei Ohtani on the mound against the Milwaukee Brewers. By the way, one of the better offenses in Major League Baseball was fantastic. Matter of fact, it was one of the better pitch games we've ever seen. We can show you the numbers. Shohei Ohtani on the mound as the starting pitcher against Milwaukee. 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 10 strikeouts, ladies and gentlemen, only 3 walks. And you see right there, 26th pitcher ever is Shohei Ohtani to record 10 strikeouts, 2 or less hits, and 0 earned runs in a postseason start. It's the greatest game ever played did Shohei Ohtani pull off. You're like, whoa, Bryson, hang on just a second. That's an excellent stat line. Greatest game ever played? It's great, don't get me wrong, but 25 other pitchers have done what Shohei Ohtani did on Friday night. But then let's talk about another player. Let's talk about this other guy. His name also happens to be Shohei Ohtani. He was the Dodgers' best hitter in this game. Can we show you his numbers? He had one of the greatest games ever. Against the Milwaukee Brewers, 3 hits, not 1, not 2, but 3 home runs, obviously 3 RBIs. The second of those home runs, by the way, hit out of Dodger Stadium, for crying out loud. 3 runs in his one at-bat that he did not hit a home run, drew a walk. He's the 12th hitter ever to hit 3 home runs in a postseason game. You're like, that's amazing. Still, I wouldn't say it's the greatest game ever played. But what if I told you that the pitcher and the hitter were the same darn guy? Put up that graphic and see how that looks. The same player, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 10 strikeouts. As a batter, 3 hits, 3 home runs, 3 RBIs. 12th hitter to hit 3 home runs. 26th pitcher to strike out 10, give up 2 hits and 0 runs. Shohei Ohtani did both in the same game. An excellent baseball reporter. Shout out to Sarah Lange on social media. Fantastic follow. Does a great job covering baseball. She summed it up perfectly. To recap Ohtani's night, first leadoff homer by a pitcher in baseball history. First postseason multi-home run game by a pitcher. First game in Major League history with 3 home runs, 10 strikeouts. First player with 2 116-mile-per-hour home runs in a game in the StatCast era, which is since 2015. And he's the first player with 2 career games, in other words, multiple career games, with 2 home runs and 10 strikeouts. Shohei Ohtani, first guy to ever do that in the history of the Major League Baseball playoffs, and in some cases, the history of the sport in general. What we are witnessing, ladies and gentlemen, is the greatest, let me back up. Greatest is a different conversation. What we are witnessing right now, folks, is the best baseball player to ever step on the diamond, and it's not particularly close. Shohei's not the greatest quite yet. He might be on his way getting there. We'll talk about that in a second. I think you can make an argument certainly for a Barry Bonds. If you want to go all the way back to Babe Ruth, there's the fringes that think guys like a Ken Griffey Jr. should be in that conversation. He's the most gifted, the prettiest swing, all of it. There's plenty of guys you could discuss. Here's what I know about Shohei Ohtani. Why is he the best player of all time? Well, first of all, he's the legit ace. The fact of the matter is, off a second Tommy John surgery, he didn't pitch till the middle of the year. This man had a 2.87 ERA. Pitched half the year off a second Tommy John surgery. Hadn't pitched in 2 years, 2.87 ERA. By the way, his last fully healthy season as a pitcher, 2022, he finished 4th in the American League Cy Young voting. In other words, last fully healthy season pitching, baseball voters came together and said there were only 3 American League pitchers better than this guy. Pretty good. So he's an ace of a pitcher. He's awesome. Struck out 10 in his most recent start. He's also, behind Aaron Judge, the best power hitter in Major League Baseball. 2021, he finished 3rd in homers. 2023 finished 4th. Last year finished 2nd. This year finished 3rd. The last 2 years, he has hit over 50 home runs. That's pretty good. So he's an ace of a pitcher, and he's the 2nd best power hitter in baseball. Add to that, because Shohei we got to see the long-term effects of his career. Shohei may be the type of guy like a Steph Curry. Maybe it won't be as widespread as what Steph's done for the three-point shot, but a guy who we see 20 years from now, there are some other two-way players. Shohei's not the first two-way player that we've seen, but guys who are great hitters, probably not 50 home run, great hitters, but great hitters can hit for average, hit for power, and they're excellent pitchers, maybe even aces. But can they run like a gazelle on the base paths? Because that's what Shohei Ohtani can do. Because last year, 2024, first season with the Los Angeles Dodgers, he had the first 50-50 season in the history of Major League Baseball. What do I mean by that? Well, 50 home runs, 50 steals. So in other words, one of the best base stealers in the sport, second best power hitter in the sport, and one of the aces in the sport when he's healthy. Oh, by the way, just as a nice cherry on top, he's 8 years into his Major League Baseball career. He's about to win his 4th MVP. That will put him all by himself in second place behind Barry Bonds, who had 7 for crying out loud. Put Shohei Ohtani second. 8 years in his career, he's second already. You're going to be in MVPs. Some things don't need much more explanation beyond the obvious. It's funny, our Constitution here in the United States starts with, we hold these truths to be self-evident. As in, they're so obvious we don't even need to state them beyond, one time. The same thing can be said about this particular baseball player. What we are seeing from this man is something I'm not sure we'll ever see again by a Major League Baseball player. You are seeing right now folks discussing, I don't know if I'd go here yet, but is this the greatest performance in American sports history? I don't think I would go quite there, but it is the best performance in the history of the Major League Baseball playoffs. The man hit 3 home runs and struck out 10 batters, folks, in a closeout game to win the NLCS. That would be like if Patrick Mahomes in the AFC title game threw 5 touchdowns and then had 10 tackles, 2 interceptions, one of them being a pick 6. That's what this is. The best player in a sport who's elite on both sides of the ball. Who's the best on both sides of the ball? Or in this case, in Major League Baseball, dominant on the mound, dominant at the plate, and dominant on the base paths. By the way, just something else too. The game last year in which he got to that 50-50 milestone, in that game, he went 6 for 6, had 3 home runs, 2 stolen bases, 10 RBIs. He's simply on a different planet than everybody else. Essentially, take Aaron Judge, take like a little lesser version of Garrett Crochet, and sprinkle in a little bit of Ellie De La Cruz, and you've got Shohei Ohtani. That's who that is. I want to reiterate this. He is the best baseball player ever. Listen, people say, well, what about Barry Bonds? Bonds was awesome. Don't get me wrong. Was Bonds out here dominating the mound? Bonds the greatest home run hitter ever. Forget the steroids. He was great before the steroids. Arguably the greatest power hitter ever. The man's a 7-time MVP. Put him in the Hall of Fame for crying out loud. Different story for a different day. Ken Griffey didn't play long enough. Babe Ruth didn't play against black players. The sport was still segregated back then. Like there are a number, again, we're not talking about greatest, we're talking about best. And against the best baseball players on the face of the earth, he makes them look ordinary. That's what the great athletes do. Some of the great LeBron James games. Remember that 2007? Scored, I think it was 29 of the Cavs' last 30 points. Carried him to a Game 5 win in Detroit, Palace of Auburn Hills. There were Hall of Famers on that floor for Detroit. I guess the second iteration, so to speak, of the Bad Boy Pistons. And they were extras in the film next to the A-lister. That's what you're seeing right now. I mean, the Dodgers are a team. This is the Avengers. You got Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson and Robert Downey and all of these A-list big-name actors. You got Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts, and Teoscar Hernandez is a good supporting actor. And Dave Roberts is a previous postseason hero. And Clayton Kershaw is kind of like he's kind of like the Robert De Niro, so to speak, right? Like the old veteran who's kind of still got it, and they pale. Freddie Freeman, I wish we had the photo. Freddie Freeman, hands on his head. Man's a 2-time World Series champion. Man last year had one of the greatest moments in World Series history, the walk-off grand slam to beat the Yankees in Game 1. And he's left speechless. He doesn't, these guys see Shohei Ohtani every single day, and they cannot believe what they're seeing. That's the mark. Certainly an all-time great athlete, which we know Shohei is, but the best baseball player of all time, Shohei Ohtani. Greatest? He's on that track. By the way, Dodgers are 4 wins away from him getting to ring number 2. 2 years in LA could be 2 rings, helping lead a dynasty. It's pretty unbelievable what this man's doing. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.